be recording. So, Lockdown 2.0. I'm here in a car park on my road bike, which is a single speed that I bought 5 years ago. I wanted to try out a fixed gear bike or a fixie, but I was too much of a wimp and I went for a single speed, which means I can coast on this bike. And it's a bigger version of the bike I usually ride, which should be up on the screen right now. Being as it's locked down and there's nothing to do, I fell into an internet trap and I bought a whole load of bike parts, which include some brand new wheels with a fixed gear. Throw on those wheels onto this bike, give this bike a test ride, and hope that I don't fall on my face or do anything ridiculous trying a fixed gear bike for the first time. So wish me luck. Really wet and my hands are just disgusting right now. Now, I don't have a lot of road bike tools per se. I usually deal with a lot of BMX, so I'm using a lot of my BMX tools here against some really odd wheel nut sizes. It seems to be working. I'm also not used to dealing with brakes, so there was a bit of a battle before I started filming, just trying to get the wheel off for the first time. Here's one of the new wheels. I don't know if this is the front or the back. This is the front. I got some tyres on here that my father-in-law has told me is for summer and not autumn/winter/rain, so increasing the risk of slipping and falling all over the place. Which way is the tread on this? That way? That way. Now, I run brakeless usually on my BMX bike. One of the sort of appealing part of fixed gear is the fact that I can run a similar setup to my BMX where I can run a brakeless setup. But I'm going to leave the brake on here because the internet says having a brake on a fixed gear when you first try it is a good idea. So I'm going to go with that. Interesting. Now I thought that one of my usual parts would work on this particular wheel nut. Oh no, it all works that way. So I need a 15mm spanner for this, which I luckily have on here. This is a multi-tool for my BMX, and that bit there is used for a pedal. Let's get that tight as possible because I really don't want my front wheel coming off. That's the front wheel on. Line up the brake pad, even though there's not much of a brake surface on here. And I say that like I know how to run brakes. I've never run brakes in my life, apart from until I was on this bike. And even then it's just some minor tweaks. Time to take off this wheel, which I've never taken off in a while. I'm not usually this bad with my bikes. A bit better with the maintenance, but this is the bike that hardly gets used. And I'd like to use it a lot more, especially now that we're in lockdown and we can't really have any other form of exercise apart from walking or running. Back wheel. It's amazing that considering I'm only just changing wheels, how many bits and pieces I've actually got just to get to this point, including these bags, which are great by the way, chain reaction cycles. Massive, massive wheel bags, so I can throw this bike in the shed and not worry about anything rusting. Although I haven't thrown anything in the shed just yet. Now I've kept the gearing the same, don't have to change too many things. Shouldn't be too drastic a change. I hate the fact that I'm putting on a rusty chain on this, but I have a fresh chain indoors and I just want to test this out once. Going the wrong way. There we go. Start with the big wheel. Start with the big wheel. Oh. That feels weird. There's no coasting. Look at that. It just keeps going. I'm really excited to try this bike out, but I'm also absolutely terrified just because of the fact that you can't coast. After nearly 25 years of riding bikes where you can coast, my brain can't seem to compute how this is going to work, which is why I'm here. Usually I'd kind of throw on the wheels and just test out the bike, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to try and control this environment. Let's have a look at this bike. First test ride on the fixed gear. That is a really, really interesting experience. I'm quite shocked by that. It's a little bit of skipping and giving, but I don't know where that's coming from, and I think that's something I just need to get used to, but I quite like it. It's scary going downhill. Gotta try it again. So I took the bike for one more spin around all of this, and up there are a couple more kind of sharp 90-degree turns. I'm kind of getting the concept of backpedaling on here, which is something I've never really understood when fixie riders have kind of spoken about it. But essentially, I'm kind of pushing back against the rolling direction just to kind of try and slow down the pedaling without completely grinding to a halt, which was my biggest worry about doing this. And then I've got a really bad habit from normal kind of coasting bikes, which is pedaling really, really fast, and then when I'm done pedaling really fast, I kind of hold my feet there and just coast usually. When I do it on this bike, it feels like I'm just gonna flip over again, so I can't do too much of that. Needs a lot more planning. It feels like the first time I went brakeless on my BMX. A lot of planning. I can't see myself riding this on the street just yet. I'm gonna need a few more test rides just to get used to things like hills, stopping suddenly. I tried to skid back there and I nearly just completely face planted off the front there. I'm loving the wheels though. God, these wheels look great. And I also need to learn how to stop. All right, well, change the chain and maybe try and spruce up this frame a bit more as well. So far, so good.